Do you need some poetry while you wait?
Only if you speak to my vagina.
I mean, so awkward and uncomfortable. And
I'm not
you know
gonna
what?
do
I'm gonna
that.
bring that up later. I'm gonna say something.
It's a hard pass.
Take a pass? All right, I guess no poetry then.
Buckle up, literature fans. We're in for some boozy bookgasms today. Join three cousins creating a titillating headspace where steamy romance novels collide with strong cocktails. So, sit back, sip slow, and enjoy the ride.
Welcome back, literature fans. I'm Lynn.
I'm Jen.
I'm Kim.
So we are back with a feral, filthy, and completely addictive motorcycle club romance.
Yeah.
This is Wolf.E, Wolf.E, Wolf.
Nobody
We don't know
knows
how to
what the E
pronounce
is for. It doesn't even matter.
But it doesn't matter. It is by Praisley Hope, and it is yummy. But before we get into the seduction, betrayal, and knife play, Kim, what are we drinking tonight?
Okay, so I really tossed back and forth on this one, but I decided to go with the drink that really set our main female character into her badassedness. I don't even know how to say that.
Badassery?
Like her badassery. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but I did a butterscotch shot tonight. And it is delicious. I am sipping my shot because I'm a weenie. It's very good. It's sweet. Burns going down. I love it.
Yummy.
Nice.
Meow. Before we get into the actual book, I'm going to go through a couple of characters. We have our main male character, Wolf. First name, Gabriel, goes by Wolf, ex-military. He's the president of the Hounds of Hell motorcycle club. His grandfather started the club, but then they gave it to his uncle, who ran the club for a long time, and then passed it down to Wolf. He is a total bachelor, has no plans on settling down, won't even kiss a girl, but gets plenty of sex and is kind of known around the club.
He's a whore.
One and done.
He's a man whore. And he's super
Yes.
hot,
Yeah.
so the girls
But he's
just
hot.
sign up.
And they're fine with it. Then we have our main female character, Brinley Rose Beaumont. She sounds very prim and proper, and that's because she is. She grew up in this town of Harmony, Georgia, to wealthy parents, kind of ran in society circles. Dad was a lawyer, and mom was like a society person, and she went to church, sang in the choir, like the whole thing. And she's been living in Atlanta since college. Her best friend, Layla, who grew up with her in Harmony, sang in the choir, the whole thing. Layla's fiance and husband, eventually, Axe. His real name is Sean. He's like the right-hand man to Gabe, and they served in the military together. Then there's Jake, which is Wolf's cousin. Jake's dad was the one that was the president of the MC and gave it to Gabe. But Jake supposedly totally fine with this, loves to party, and didn't want all the responsibility.
Kind of a cokehead, too.
He's a drug addict.
He's a partier, doesn't want any responsibility. And then Wolf and Axe and Jake are all in the Hounds of Hell. Their main rival is the Disciples of Sin. So they are traffickers, they are rapists, they peddle drugs in Atlanta, and this goes against everything that Wolf wants for his club.
His club is like the opposite of what you would think of for a motorcycle club. They also deal in drugs, but they're actually dealing in methadone.
Good drugs.
Yeah, the good drugs to get you off of drugs. So they are black market.
They're still doing illegal things.
They're still danger, but
and
they're
murderers.
the good guys.
They're opening trauma centers.
Like Robin Hood.
Well, like a badass Robin Hood.
Like, hot as hell.
So they're out to do good, but they're not necessarily doing it in a legal way, but it's for the greater good, I guess you would say. We open up with a pretty intense scene. Wolf, Axe, a couple of their other guys, Kai, Mason, they have, all their bros. They're torturing this guy named Gator, who was a Disciple of Sin member. And Gator has raped Mason's sister, who was like 16. They're torturing him. They're taking out teeth and they're blowtorching his tattoos off. And
it's upsetting.
It's not great. We're kind of thrown into this scene. Then a girl who is Brinley is at the doorway, and she's on her knees in front of the door, and the guys say, "Hey, Wolf, look over there." And he looks, mouths something, and shoots Gator in the head. And that is the first opening scene. Then we go kind of back in time. And we're introduced to Brinley. She works for the skeezy guy. But essentially, she's been like trying to get a promotion at this magazine. And he calls her into his office and says they filed for bankruptcy and she's now out of a job effective in 3 hours. Go clean up your desk. And there's an interesting scene where she's been basically putting up with this guy for 3 years or something. And he's like, well, if you want to go out for a drink with me, I'll give you a letter of recommendation. She's like, how would I tell your wife you've been a slob for 3 years, been like looking at my ass? And he's like, the letter will be on your desk by noon. So she's an interesting character. Like she is kind of mousy in a way. Like she always wants to do the right thing because her mom always told her to do the right thing. But she does have a backbone in like random moments. Her boyfriend, Evan, of a couple of years, who she lives with, is texting her. They have a dinner date that night. He's telling her this is going to be the best dinner they've ever had. Get ready for a life-changing moment. And so she thinks he's going to propose. And so she doesn't tell him about losing her job because she doesn't want to ruin the night. So she gets ready.
The engagement, yeah.
Her potential engagement.
This is literally every Hallmark Valentine's opening. Like literally every single one. I'm sitting here going, oh my God, this is not going to happen. She's going to be so sad.
You're realizing that she's kind of doing everything for him versus what she wants. They end up at his favorite restaurant. They go through the whole meal, no proposal. And finally at the end of the dinner, when she thinks he's going to propose and she's bored to tears. Oh, and by the way, they haven't had sex in months and he's not a really good lay anyway.
It's important.
So she's just convinced that they're going to get engaged and then everything's going to be better for her life because that's what her mom wanted for her.
Can we take a minute? You haven't had sex with this guy in a long time. And when you did, he sucked. But yet you're hitting all your hopes and dreams on an engagement.
She's trying to fit into a mold
from
that
the
was
start.
set for her.
I know. She's prim and proper and
she's trying to check all the boxes.
But so anyway, he doesn't propose. He basically says, I have this new job in New York and they live in Atlanta. And she's like, I can't believe you would make this decision for us and ask me to move across the country. And he's like, oh, I'm not asking you to move. I figured we'd just do long distance. And she's like, I thought we were going to propose. And he was like, oh no, you would have to change some things before my parents would approve of that.
Get your life together.
Like, that? Like, what the hell does that mean? So anyway, they break up. She lives in his house. All the furniture's his. She basically molded into his life. And we find out, too, that both of her parents are now deceased. Her dad died when she was like 18. And then her mom passed away just a couple of years ago. But she has a house in Harmony, the house she grew up in Georgia. But she still wants to be a designer. So she packs up what little things she has and she kind of runs away back home to Georgia where her parents' house has been sitting empty for like a year.
I don't even feel like she's running away.
I have no options.
There's nowhere to go. She has no option. She lived in his apartment with his stuff.
And he's leaving.
There's nothing. It's either homeless in my car or I go back home.
So on her way home, she's brokenhearted. It's taken her a couple weeks to pack up. She's still in tears. And this is kind of funny. She stops at like a really busy club by herself in her yoga pants and large t-shirt to nurse a drink, self-proclaimed not a big drinker. 30 minutes from home, she stops in her pajamas to get a drink at the bar. And
she's sad, Lynn. Stop judging.
She needed it.
PJs are actually loungewear now. It's fine.
Yeah. Didn't you say leggings and a t-shirt? That's like my uniform.
At a club.
Business casual.
At 10:30 at night. So her friend Layla is at the club and they are the PB to your jelly. So they're best buddies. They've been friends since a long time. They've got nicknames for each other. And Layla runs up to Brinley and can't believe she's there. And Layla, wearing a veil, a bride-to-be sash, she is at her bachelorette party with a bunch of women that Brinley does not know. Ever since she moved to Atlanta and she got with the boyfriend, they've really kind of just grown apart. So she hasn't really talked to Layla in a while. But Layla is happy. She's outgoing. She's optimistic. She's a really cute little character. But she has these 3 brooding men behind her and these girls the whole time. And Brinley is freaked out because this motorcycle club, Hounds of Hell, has been in their hometown since the beginning.
Bad
And
news,
the parents,
man.
bad news.
Yep.
The parents have been saying, like, those guys are sinners. They're horrible. Stay away from them. They're bad people. So Brindley is judging a book by its cover. She is worried for Layla that she's, like, involved with these people. She's realizing Layla's, like, in the MC. And Layla tells her, stop being a bitch. Stop judging these people. You know nothing.
So who listened? I listened.
I read. I always read.
I read.
So I'm going to tell you right now, as the listener, I wanted to stab my ears every time Layla spoke.
Oh, I loved her as a character.
Oh, I did too.
Her lines were great, but I literally wanted to stab my ears because it was done so obnoxiously.
Oh, and she wasn't an obnoxious character.
No. So the voice just
And that's
ruined
why
it.
I wanted to finish it out, because I knew that you guys would read it, because I initially said, oh my God, don't listen to this.
I was glad you told me because I didn't waste a credit.
It was like, oh my God, Bradley. See the whole thing.
Oh, God. Yeah.
She is like that.
Oh, I just thought she was so cute.
I loved this friendship.
I loved her too. Okay, so dear listeners, do not listen to this book.
Listen to us. Read the book.
Or just listen to us. Then you get the whole thing.
That's fine too. True.
So Layla invites Brindley. She says, well, I'm getting married this weekend. You should come. Brindley's not really sure about this. She's just having a hard time getting over her preconceived notions. But
Yes.
Layla does not let her off the hook and says, you are coming and let's have lunch on Wednesday. So Brindley gets home. She opens up the house that's been under sheets for the better part of a year, opens up the house again. She realizes that her porch is been infested with termites. And her cute 80-year-old neighbor says, oh, that's not good. She's like, well, I don't have any money to pay for this. And he's like, well, your dad had a truck in the garage that he always kept running. Maybe you can sell that. So now she's got a couple missions. She wants to find a job. She's starting her life over. It's very Hallmarky, cha-ching, because, girl comes to start over life and then falls in love. She goes to town to look for a job, get a coffee, kind of figure out what's going on. And the motorcycles come through town. Her eyeballs just go straight to them. She can't get enough. And this is where Wolf and her first see each other. And she can't stop looking at him. And he looks at her and they do have a connection. But then he walks off. She shakes it off and goes and buys outfits for the wedding weekend. Also finds a job at a cute little design store in town where it happens Layla's brother Del works at this store and helps her get a job.
It's all falling into place.
All falling into place.
Yes.
She's got a job. She's got built-in friend Layla, and she's got things to do this weekend. So she shows up at the MC Clubhouse. If you read motorcycle romances, they always have a place in which they congregate. That is where the rehearsal dinner is.
This is my first MC romance.
Oh, is it?
I'm a fan.
Interesting.
I'm a big
fan.
MC romance fan.
You've always said that, and you've always said I wouldn't like it, but you were wrong. I liked it.
I didn't think you would. Okay, so this is
Let's
good.
go to the clubhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we go to the clubhouse and Wolf and her kind of officially meet, right? They didn't really meet in town. They just saw each other. They officially meet. She has gotten talk from the girls, though, about Wolf prior to going into the clubhouse.
He's got a reputation.
He's got a reputation. She's learned about this. But they meet there, and there's definitely an attraction. While she's scared of him, she also talks back to him, and she's nervous. Heartbeat is a flutter. And so he starts to call her Hummingbird. She doesn't really know why he calls her that, but we learn later in the book that because her heart is always racing, like he thinks she's like always a flutter around him. But I think the kid's a cute little nickname that he calls her.
too.
He's really into her, and he's confused why
Well, she's hot.
when he says that.
That helps.
And she's kind of a goody two-shoes, but he sees something darker in her.
He's trying to taint her goodness.
But she's a brat, so he knows it's in there because she keeps smarting off to him.
Is she a brat or is she a human being with opinions? I don't know. I'm very torn on this one.
She kind of likes to egg him on a little bit.
Poke him.
Yeah, she does. She's scared of him, but she still likes to poke him, which I think is like interesting. And that's, I think, what he sees. He really wants to get under the hood of her personality and like have her shed her
Yeah, he does.
church girl mentality. He says to her, when you're ready to be bad, come and find me. He
Be
wants
bad.
to learn more why he's attracted to her. As they're at the rehearsal dinner, a car bomb explodes, which is obviously nerve-wracking. And
Club
Wolf
life.
puts her in a safe place and orders one of his guys to stay with her.
He gave her a bodyguard.
This is how you know he's already adopted her. She's not going
Adopted.
anywhere.
That's one way to call it. Yeah.
Okay.
Adopted.
Okay. That's probably not the right word. But
He's imprinted on her.
he's imprinted
How
on
about
her.
that?
There you go.
Yeah, I was like imprinted, trained. Oh, claimed.
Claimed her.
He lifted his leg and he peed on her.
100%.
So Wolf and Axe and Jake and all of them are going after the guy who blew up a bomb in front of their clubhouse. They find this poor kid who's a prospect for the Disciples of Sin. They kidnap him and put him in the back of a truck and cut off 2 fingers. So he's 8-fingered prospect now.
New name.
They call him Ocho.
They know it. He knows he's a dead man. And he keeps trying to knock his head against like the side of the van just to knock himself out. And so they sedate him. They don't kill him. They keep him. We're learning too that they are trying to find this guy Gator. So you remember in the prologue, they shot Gator, but we're building up to them even finding Gators. And they make the women stay at the clubhouse throughout the night so that they can make sure everything's safe for them to leave. So Brindley says, okay, she's freaked out about it. I'm here. I'm stuck here. I'm just going to make the most of it. So she's drinking to her heart's content. She has to go to the bathroom. So she finds it finally and then stumbles into a room. So all of the rooms have been like disheveled and messy. And she stumbles in this room. It's much bigger and it's clean, spick and span, military corners on the bed, 10 feet of bookshelves.
The wolf den. Yeah.
She knows it's Wolf's room. And she
She
starts
knows.
going through
Yeah.
She
the books.
knows.
So she picks up a Great Gatsby book as she's like flipping through it, and Wolf comes in and finds her, startles her, pushes her up against the bookcase, says she shouldn't be there, and is really taunting her. And she's again really scared.
She's scared and he likes it, but she's also snapping
here
back.
for it. She's not really saying no. And
No.
he wants to kiss her but doesn't because he doesn't kiss. But he does drop her whole dress. He fingers her and holds her hands up against the bookshelf. It's an incredibly hot
It's
scene.
hot.
Very hot. And she says, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So he gets her off and he tells her, when I make you come, I'm your God. I only want to hear my name on your lips. And I was just like, okay.
So bad I wanted her to go, yes, Fred.
Yes.
I love an alpha. Like,
Totally.
that is so fucking hot.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
See,
Totally.
I'm so torn on
Oh,
this one.
he
And
was an
normally I love an
alpha.
alpha. I didn't like that he always choked her.
But she
Yeah,
liked it.
she liked it.
I know she did, but yeah, work up to that. That's not like, hey, how you doing? Slam against a bookshelf.
It was for him.
He's an alpha. That's what
It's his
he
language. That's what he
wants,
does.
yeah.
I get it. And
he's
yes,
trying
he
to
was fucking hot.
trying to find her kink. I thought it was hot.
I don't think he cared what her kink was. I think it was not his
It was
kink.
his kink.
But
But she was trying to find out who she was too, and she's realizing that she's maybe had it wrong. Shouldn't be judging book by their cover.
definitely got it wrong.
So right after, knock on the door like, hey, emergency, you have to come now. He has to leave the room and tells her to stay put. So she does. She gets in his bed.
She sure
He doesn't come back. Then her friend's calling her the next day like, I know you're in his room. No, I'm not. And she's like, I know you are. Stop lying. Stop lying. We're all here in the house together.
Not that bad.
So she's really doesn't want anyone to know that she succumbed to Wolf on night 1. So she does sneak downstairs, sees Layla, and has convinced herself, I'm not going to
The wedding. It ain't
wedding. Like,
happening.
I'm not doing it. And so she calls an Uber, and as she's leaving, Wolf comes back to the clubhouse and they lock eyes and she scurries away. So she has this old truck of her dad's. She needs to have it refurbished so she can sell it to pay for the porch. The neighbor tells her to go to this one body shop in town, says it's the best. And whose shop is it? But Gabriel Wolf's. So Wolf is there.
Oh,
He,
what do you know?
of course, looks
weird.
at the truck.
Small town.
Small town. Yeah.
And she's kind of insulting him like the whole time. She's like, I need this to be above board. I can't
Yeah.
do anything wrong. And he's like, this is a legitimate business. Don't be an asshole.
That's fair.
He says it's going to be a couple weeks. Give me your phone number. She's reluctant to do that. And he says, well, what do you want me to do? Yell the price that it's going to cost down the middle of Main
Right.
Street? I have to be able to call you to tell you what it's going to cost. And she was like, okay, I guess that's fine. Then he starts freaking out that some man is going to come pick her up from the body shop and take her home. And then he realizes it's the 80-year-old neighbor. So he quashes his possessiveness and says like, fine, you can go home with the neighbor.
And he does tell her, when I call,
You will answer.
you answer.
Yeah, when I call call you
And
an
I'm like,
answer.
that was kind of hot. I'll
Yeah.
take that one.
Oh,
Yes, totally
It
hot.
was very
Totally.
hot.
So then they go kidnap Gator.
It was on the to-do list. Check.
This was a very busy day.
Yeah, it's a lot going on in Georgia.
They go kidnap Gator in like a military style kidnapping. They get him, they put him in the van with Ocho, the 8-fingered prospect, and they drive him to the wedding venue, which is like a cabin situation by a lake. In the meantime, he texts her and says, "Do not leave the house without me. I will be there to pick you up." She's been convinced to go to the wedding against her better judgment, but she doesn't want to go with him. So she's scrambling to get out of the house early. And she hears motorcycles and she's like, damn it. And she walks out and he's already there, parked, sitting on the bike, waiting for her. They have a little tussle about whether or not she's going to go with him. And of course, she does. She puts her bag on the bike. He does her helmet and clips it for her, which I also think is really
So
hot.
sweet.
And then comes out, and there are all the people. There's Layla and Axe. All the club is waiting around the corner for him to have picked up the girl.
Gang's all here. Let's
And
go.
she does ask, how many girls have ridden on the back of your bike? And he's like, none. You are the first.
But in the conversation she had at the club the night before, all the girls were talking about how they had all had a little bit of piece of Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows
He gets
this is a man whore.
He gets around.
And he doesn't kiss, but he gets around.
But they sign up for it.
They do
They
sign up
all
for it.
want
I'm not
condoms.
saying they don't. I'm just saying she got on the train.
She did. But he's obviously obsessed with her. He can't get her out of his system.
Mm-hmm.
They get to the wedding venue, which sounds really cute and idyllic. There's like a big venue space, and then there's all these little cabins where they're all staying, and it's on a lake. They get there, they get ready for the wedding. As Gabe or Wolf gets to the front of the wedding, he smiles at Axe because he's so happy for his friend, and Brinley is like a flutter because she sees his like real smile. And so they get married, they go to the reception, and Dell is there because Dell is the brother, and they're supposed to be sitting at the same table. And all of a sudden, one of the club members comes up and says, "Oh, this isn't your seat. There's been a mistake. You need to sit at the head table."
That was so funny.
Brinley looks up there, and there's like one spot between Layla and Wolf.
Of course.
She's like, "No, I'm good here." And he's like, "No, you need to be up there at the front. Why would you want to disappoint Layla?" And then she gets up there, and Layla's like, "Oh, you're sitting with us? Yay, so exciting." So Layla
Thank
had
you,
no
that's so
idea.
great.
It was obviously Wolf was trying to get her up there. They talked, they drank.
Clearly, Wolf knows everything about everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, she's flirting with Dell a little bit. And he's like, "You're not his type." I had to laugh.
His mommy issues.
He likes his girls a little bit older.
You have to be older and be willing to spank him when he doesn't do what you say.
Yeah, I was like,
She was like, "Oh,
my.
interesting. Okay."
Meltdown.
Totally. So all the boys leave, and none of the girls know what's going on, but they're still there to have a good time. And Axe, the groom, he's back and forth, but the wedding is still going, and all the guys are in this cabin.
I'd be so annoyed if this was my wedding.
I would too.
Totally. But
Yeah.
Axe is around at least a little, but like most of the guys are gone. Now we're caught up with the prologue. They are torturing Gator for raping the sister and being a horrendous human being.
He didn't just rape her, though. He raped her, videoed it, and then shared
right.
it
We learned that, yeah.
across the entire club and basically ruined her life.
She wouldn't leave the house for like months.
A lot of vengeance happening.
Yeah, Mason.
He deserved everything.
He deserved everything he got.
exactly.
They took out his teeth with pliers.
As
That
they
was
should.
awful.
They like fire torched all his tattoos so that they wouldn't be seen. There was lots of blood. At some point, Brinley gets kind of tired of dancing and says she's going to go on a walk in the woods, which like
By
she's
herself.
by herself, which
Makes sense.
Just how
Chad.
every horror movie
you're
starts.
scared
Yeah,
of these guys. You're in the middle of the woods and you go off path
And you're drinking.
to just kind of walk around. And all of a sudden she hears massive screaming. And so she runs towards the screamer.
Of course.
Towards the danger.
Towards the danger, of course. So she gets to the door, sees what's happening, falls to her knees, but she can't move away. She's horrified, but she's totally entranced. And somebody gets Wolf's attention. He looks over. He mouths something to her. She doesn't understand what he's trying to say, but looking right at her, shoots Gator. And she screams and runs. She realizes after she ran away that he said, don't look. So he was trying to protect her in some way, but he is who he is, and he was always going to shoot the guy.
Yeah.
So
As he should have.
she runs. All of his guys are like, she's seen too much. You have to kill her. And he's like, leave her to me. Don't mess with her. Like, I got it. And he chases her in the woods and, of course, catches her. She's falls down left and right. She's surprised she didn't break
She's
a leg.
not good. Yeah.
She's very, very clumsy in the woods. He's like leisurely strolling. She's like running for her
Just
life.
takes 3 long steps and gets
He's
her.
skipping behind her. Yeah, no, it's the whole thing.
She seduces her. She's scared shitless. Her heart's aflutter, hummingbird. He's into it. And he takes out his knife. So we have yet another weapon
the sapling.
play.
I'm worried about society.
Is another book with weapon play. He takes out his knife and holds the knife part, but it's like sheath, and uses the handle of the knife to get her off, puts it inside her.
He didn't put hand sanitizer on it like the guy in Lights
He
Out.
didn't do anything. He stuck his knife up her hoo-ha lady bits multiple times.
He talks about this later because she asks about this, and he says, I just killed a man with this, so it's sterilized. It's cleaner than a hospital.
I took 15 minutes walking towards you to sterilize it between the time you
He didn't
ran
cover
into the
this.
forest.
This is where the blood comes in because
No.
he's getting her off with the handle of the knife, but he's so into it that he cuts himself. So he's bleeding. And
That's the
after the
hazard.
orgasm, he mixes his blood with her orgasm and like puts it in
It's
her
disgusting.
and paints her lips with it and then kisses her.
That did happen.
That's when I was like, can we talk about hepatitis? Can we talk about HIV?
But he kissed her. He
Yeah.
kissed her. He doesn't kiss anybody. He kissed her.
No.
It was hot.
No.
It was hot.
Loved
Absolutely
all of it.
not.
I love
loved all of
same.
I'm out. Dude bleeds all over me. I don't know where the fuck he's been. Actually, I do because I heard all about it the night before. He bleeds all over himself, me, jams it up in me, no getting that shit out, then rubs it on my face and then lays one on me? No, absolutely not. So many medical issues.
She kissed him way back, and
No.
any cringe was overshadowed by just how hot it was. So I
No,
just
it was
overlooked
not.
the cringe.
Overshot.
I think she was like in a trauma-induced orgasm.
Yeah,
She was in
that's
shock.
called PTSD. That's actually abrasive and it's assault in some places. So
Were we in like one of those buddy swapping movies?
we switched places.
Totally. I'm the same. I like it all. So he takes her back to his cabin, takes her in the shower, and leaves. Then comes back in while she's showering and pulls out his dick.
Doesn't give her a tetanus shot though. Nope, didn't get that.
She gets out of the shower and he puts a towel down and says to get on her knees. And she gives him like the best blowjob of his life.
We should mention that he's got some piercings.
Oh, yes.
He has a Jacob's ladder.
On his penis.
That was kind of hot.
That enhances some of her enjoyment.
It was her first blowjob, but it was the best one he's ever had. So that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
No story gap there.
Nope.
It's-
Natural.
yeah.
She's a natural. He did coach her.
Some people are just born with a gift.
I
you know?
guess.
He does ask his boys to bring her stuff from her cabin. And so after the epic blowjob, the guy comes and says, I have her stuff if you need to get rid of it. She's like, oh shit, they think he killed me. They're getting rid of my stuff. And he's like, don't go anywhere. She's like, you're going to kill me. And he's like, I don't know yet, but not right now.
He was like super appreciative for the EBJ.
They didn't kill her right away. He's super intrigued by her and he doesn't know why, but he definitely doesn't want to kill her.
Yeah.
He goes out with his boys to bury Gator and
Ocho.
Ocho stayed alive.
he was
That's
sit
right.
back with like the balls sewed into his mouth
That's right. That
with with a note paper clipped to his lips.
he's really chubby cheeks now.
Oh my God, chipmunk.
That was gross.
That's what I envisioned.
That was gross.
Dude's name just changed to Chipmunk.
You went from Ocho to Chipmunk?
Ocho, yeah.
How do you live
Got a
in the
new
club?
nickname now.
But they bury Gator 6 feet under in Georgia clay. But as he's leaving, she is so frustrated. She throws a vase at the front door. So he does come back. She's sleeping. He does step on the glass and is pissed. And then sits and watches her sleep because he's super intrigued by her.
Or creepy, whatever.
She does wake up. They do have a moment and he is like, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't trust you yet. But go to breakfast with the girls and we'll figure it out. Oh, and by the way, clean up the glass you broke. And goes and takes a shower. She goes to the breakfast. Layla's like, oh my God, you slept with Wolf. She knows she needs to not say anything to Layla because she has seen this horrible thing, but she can't hold it in. And she's like, Layla, what do you know about these guys? They do horrible things. How much do you know? And Layla's starting to get the hint. And she says, okay, I don't want to know, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad? And she's like, 25. So Layla's like, oh, shit.
She's not good with scales.
Okay, don't tell me. But Wolf's not a bad guy. I'm very confused about how he's treating you, but he's not going to kill you. Just keep your mouth shut and do what he says. So in the meantime, these other girls come into the bathroom. One's named Chelsea. So Chelsea's all about how she's going to like seduce Wolf. She's a little jealous and kind of possessive, but she doesn't want to say anything. And so Brinley walks out, accidentally bumps into Chelsea. Chelsea calls her a bitch. Brinley goes and sits down next to Wolf because he's taken Layla's spot, so Layla has to move. Like, well, happy wedding day. Chelsea comes over to flirt with Wolf, and he says, well, ask Brinley what she thinks about that. And Brinley's like, do whatever you want. And Chelsea's confused. Like, she still thinks Wolf might take her into the supply closet and fuck her. And
It was
Wolf,
sad.
She said she didn't care. Let's go.
It was sad.
It was sad.
she's like, well, Brinley can come too. And she's like, yeah, I'm good.
No.
Just called me a bitch 5 minutes ago. Anyway, Wolf basically says, be gone with you. And he takes Brinley back to her house and says, you need to pack up your stuff. You need to leave. And she's like, this is my house. I don't want to leave. So he stays with her and they actually start to connect on a I'm not kidnapping you level. They do have really hot sex.
That was my favorite.
He basically says, I'll give you a minute. You can hide. If I find you before the sun goes down, I get to fuck you.
He goes, run.
Yeah.
And
Run.
He runs to the furthest bedroom, leaves all the doors open so he doesn't know where she is, goes into a crawl space, goes up into the attic and hides behind a trunk. But he's like a military guy. He hears her walking. He's
like Black Ops.
He
Yeah.
goes
He
straight
knows.
for her, finds her. It was very hot. And then he fucked her in the attic, but against like a wood wall. So she has
she got, like,
splinters in
splinters.
her back. So he takes her to the bathroom and takes
worth it.
all the
Danger.
splinters out and washes it. And then they have very hot bathroom sex.
But I loved how they talked. Yeah. They talked so much.
They kind of got to know each other.
And you saw the relationship building, which you don't always get.
Isn't that grooming?
It is not.
It
It is not. He started showing a softer side. And they go to the library and drink the dad's really expensive scotch and just talk.
She sits in his lap and
it was really cute.
Really sweet. I am so surprised how different your experience was because I was falling in love right along with her. I mean, I just thought it was so
Who doesn't want to be the
I
girl
love...
that he is soft with, right? He's like mean to everybody else, but he treats
the
you
only girl
like
ever.
Queen. Like, who doesn't want to be that girl?
There were parts where I was like, this is really sweet. And then there were other parts. There was verbiage and things that he did that I was like, that was a little hostile. That was a little bit too forceful for me.
He's an alpha being an alpha.
I get it. I get belonging to someone. I don't want to be owned by someone. That's very different in my head. Parts were sexy.
I think for me, like the sexy parts and the sweet parts overshadowed some of the more cringy parts. And for you, it was the opposite, right? Like the cringy parts overshadowed like some of the sexier parts.
Yeah,
because there certainly were. Like
he needs a little training.
I don't feel like he's trainable.
He's trainable. I think he is by the end.
They all are, especially as smitten as he was with her.
He was pretty smitten.
And the words he said to her.
The great Gatsby quotes.
Oh, again, we're quoting poetry where we should not be quoting poetry.
I thought it was well played.
We talked about
that.
I mean, it wasn't lick poetry, but it was. It was.
But she was holding the Great Gatsby when he found her in his room initially, and so there are a couple of parts where he will quote Great Gatsby.
One part that I thought was really hot was like right before they had sex the first time in the attic. She goes, condom. And he growls,
Yeah.
no condom.
And she's like,
I'd be like, oh
"Okay."
my God.
Totally.
Glad I'm on the pill.
He's already put his blood in her vagina.
Yeah.
so
I
it's
know.
all
Now
good.
you're
No.
dead and pregnant. Perfect.
I'm still hot.
But that was his first time ever.
Of course it
without a
was.
condom, so he's clean.
Yeah, of course.
He puts her to bed and then leaves her. Like, she thinks he's getting in bed.
Like a child.
And he leaves her, and he's starting to get a little like, I can't protect her. So we start to realize his backstory about his mom. He grew up in the club. His dad was the brother of the president, and so somewhat protected, but he was married to Wolf's mom and treated her like total garbage. Cheated on her, beat her.
Well, he was a drunk. He was a
Abuser.
druggie.
He was awful.
A lot of abuse.
So from a very young age, Wolf was in this very abusive household and saw his mom being treated this way. But his mom never lost her spark, never lost her kindness. It was a real rock in his life. We know that she dies, but we don't know how yet. But he's very concerned with not being able to protect Brinley. Like, he wasn't able to protect his mom. And so he leaves her and thinks that, like, by completely ignoring her, she'll be out of danger. But he doesn't go away. He's kind of stalking her.
Kind of. He literally is in her room every
to
night.
watch her.
So sweet. It's protective.
He
He's overprotective.
follows her to work and follows her home and makes sure she gets there
Track
safely.
are you on? Every other book. Every other book, you're like, oh my God, it's creepy. He's sitting and watching her.
But he was so hot.
Yeah,
it was okay.
Absolutely not.
But she's very sad that Wolf has not talked to her, not texted her, not anything. She's at the design studio that she works at. She notices there's a guy on a motorcycle out in front of her shop occasionally. And she just assumes it's like one of Wolf's guys. Well, Layla comes to have lunch with her and they see the guy. And it is a Disciple of Sin Club guy. It is not one of Wolf's guys.
He's the bad guy.
He's the brother of
He's like second in charge or
worst guy.
something, right?
Yeah.
Marco Fox is like the president. He's the bad guy. This is a sub-bad guy. And so Layla very slyly calls Axe. So Axe and Wolf, they come strolling into town. But in the meantime, the biker threatens them. Wolf comes and says to Brinley, you have to come with me. I'm putting you under lock and key. And she has a choice to make here. Dell, the brother who she works with, is kind of judging, like she was judging in the beginning and saying, what are you going to do? And she even says, this is my choice. Do I stay with Dell, what my mom always wanted for me, or do I go with Wolf?
Kind of a fork in the road. The biker outside made it really clear he was interested in Brinley because of Wolf's interest in Brinley.
Right.
And he was like, he's never liked a girl ever, and he clearly has a thing for you, and that makes you very interesting to us. So she was in imminent danger
for
of
sure.
these guys.
Also, she was Apple tagged.
He had put an Apple tag in her car. She didn't know that yet.
She should, though, because Apple tags will tell you there's an Apple tag following you. That's how my kids found out.
Exactly.
She doesn't figure it out, strangely enough.
She must have an Android.
He moves her into his fortress. He has built this beautiful big cabin on a lake on this tons of acreage, but no one knows about it but Axe and Jake. He's basically built like a military compound. He has a shooting range in the back, a huge gym in the basement, and he moves her in there and basically says, like, you're going to stay here until the danger is over. And he says, like, you can go to work and you can come here, but that's it. I want to protect you. He's going to train her because he'll feel better if she can protect herself, because she can't do any of that right now. And so they enter into like a month-ish long training regimen where he's cooking her, proteins and quinoa and vegetables and putting her through her paces, like running through the woods, doing gun training, doing self-defense classes. He puts his arm around her neck and she has to get out from that. And she's in shape. She does yoga. He's impressed with how fit she is, but he makes her more in shape. And she hates it, but she loves it. She's still doing it. They're having all sorts of sex.
Great sex. They're falling in love. They're talking a lot.
And he's spending all of his free time with her and wanting to spend time with her. And the boys are kind of thinking she's a bit of a distraction, but he doesn't care. He's doing all his club things, but he is coming home. And the big thing is that when he says he's going to be home, he is. He's very reliable. So if he says he's going to be home at 5, he's going to be home at 5.
He's
very punctual.
He's military.
They're trying to figure out what's going on with this Disciples of Sin election situation. They want to patch them over. They want to get rid of the president. And there's this motorcycle rally coming up. And they're thinking, okay, this might be a good opportunity to make some connections and get some people on our side. So as he's kind of trying to figure this out, she and Layla are talking back and forth. And Layla says jokingly, I'm surprised he hasn't Apple tagged you yet. And she was like, that's ridiculous. And so she goes searching for the Apple tag, finds it in her car, leaves it there, but then Apple tags him, and she puts a Apple tag in his boot.
That comes in handy
later.
Actually,
so they're Apple tagged each other, and she never looks at it. But she does say, I want to go to this rally. I am cabin fever. I have not left this house. You've trained me well. Let me go. And he's like, okay, if you're going to go, you have to prove that you can protect yourself. So he sets up a target practice and then stands next to it. And then tells her to shoot the target.
I would have done that.
And she's
I'm going
to kill you. Like, I don't want to kill you. And he's like, what a way to go. Looking at your beautiful face.
She's kind of a bad aim, though, and he knows it.
She's gotten better. So anyway, she does shoot him in the arm because she was a bad aim and she was freaking out. And he scolds her for the way she handled the gun and then went back and stood there and said, now hit the fucking target. And she hit the target, and he was very proud of her. And so he takes her to the motorcycle rally.
Well, first she had to sew up the bullet wound.
I mean, it was a small graze. It wasn't like a through and through or anything.
This guy is such a badass, though.
He is a badass, yeah.
I mean, she's using a needle and thread on his skin.
And he teaches her how there's like a sterile half of the counter and then a non-sterile half of the counter. And he's like talking her through the whole thing. He's military, so he can do that. But then the best part is when they fuck on the counter and she's like, not sterile anymore. Which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
So the sex
scenes are amazing.
Yes. So good.
So they go to the motorcycle rally and he gives her a small knife. And his knife was given to him by his granddad and made from like a wolf bone. He made her a similar knife for her protection. And she's touched and puts it in her boot. And basically sits a prospect on her and says, protect her with your life. So they're just hanging out, drinking, having a good time while Wolf and Axe and others are making a deal. And Jake, the cousin, is off also doing things. So they're going to bomb the other clubhouse and he's off getting the bomb materials. So they've basically made a deal with another club that they're going to help them oust the disciples of sin. And they get a call from Chris, the prospect, and he's like, you got to come now. And Wolf's like, who hurt her? And Axe goes, well, it's really who she's going to hurt. So while this is happening, Chelsea, the bitch from the wedding, is like rolled up with 20 shots, here to make a scene and be everyone's best friend.
She was asking
and
for
she
it.
was giving Brinley shit, calling her Sandra D from Greece and really just like being an asshole. And Wolf has been training her to be a badass for like a month. Oh, Layla's like, just ignore her. Chris is like, please don't get me kicked out of the club because if you get in a fight, they're going to kill me. And she's like, okay, I won't. And then Chelsea says something particularly heinous and she punches her in the face and breaks her nose.
And she's had multiple shots. This is where she's drinking her butterscotch.
Yeah, her butterscotch shots. Yeah. And so she never uses a knife, but she punches this woman in the face. Just great.
He shows up with her to this rally on his arm.
Yeah.
Never.
Everybody is just mouth agape. Like, he has never been with a woman ever. This is his, they called him old lady.
That's an MC
I don't like that. And when she walks out, it is like a Grease moment, right? Yeah. She went from prim and proper to like the tank top and the short boots.
She does very,
she's biker babe.
She did have a little makeover.
That's true.
It was cute.
And they have these cute little cabins that they're staying in. So she had a place to like get ready.
Yurts or something.
And they have like a little place for like a garage for the bike in the back. And the whole place is set up for this. But funny enough, they've been counter-programmed by like a Christian revival.
Oh, that's
which
right.
is like in the next pasture over where they
have sex to the gospel music.
Yeah.
So she punches Chelsea in the face. Wolf comes up and says, I don't even know your name. Leave my woman alone. And then tells Axe, get rid of this girl. She's never allowed back. And then he picks up Brenly and takes her back to the cabin, but he forgot to pick up her purse, so they can't get into the cabin. So he takes her around back and puts her on his bike, and they have really amazing sex. But she says, like, don't do that. I'm on my period. He's like, don't care. I'm a man. I can deal with a little blood. And takes out her tampon, puts it in her underwear, and then puts that in his cut in his vest.
He sure did.
Yeah,
we never really learned what happened to that. to that tampon.
But like my first thought was like, that is disgusting. Then I was like, but wouldn't it be more vulgar if he pulled it out and tossed it in the woods?
Totally. I mean, at least he didn't litter.
I appreciate the fact that he didn't litter, even though I'm sure it was biodegradable. He didn't attract any animal life.
It was OB.
And he took care of it. I felt good about it.
He's a man of the earth.
Man of the earth.
So there's a lot more blood in this scene. And then they finally make it into like the yurt. They don't spend any time with anyone else. The whole reason why she wanted to come out here was to be social. They spent the whole time together. But he wakes up the next morning and it's like the day they're going to blow up the clubhouse. They've got to go get the stuff that Jake was procuring. But he wakes up with her blood and semen and all the things all over him. But he doesn't want to wash it off, but he does. He takes a shower and Jake says, meet me at St. Henry's cabin, which is a cabin that the club owns.
But it's like off the grid.
Yeah, off the beaten path. Not a lot of people know about it, just the club. So he takes Brindley home. They have more sex. It's hot. And then he basically says, I'm leaving. I'll be back in an hour and a half. He gives her a time, right? And we know that he's very punctual. And she ends up falling asleep. And then she wakes up at like 1 a.m. He's supposed to be home by like 11 or 11:30 when she thinks, oh, well, he's just running late. And then she wakes up at 4 and he's still not home. And she knows there's a problem and she can't decide what to do about it. She knows he's on club business and she basically said, if I'm going to be with you, you have to tell me everything. He's told her what he's going to do. So she knows something has gone wrong. So she calls Jake. He won't answer. She calls Axe. He's still at the rally. Doesn't answer. She calls this guy Flip. He's like a 50-year-old. Nobody answers. So she finally just says, I'm going. I'm going to go. I'm going to track his boot because she air tagged him and she knows where he is. And she said, if I show up and everything's fine, I'll turn around. He'll never know I was there. But if there's not, I won't forgive myself.
Black up, guys. They'll never even notice that I walked in.
Totally. So she gets to the place. Finally, Axe calls and says, I can't get a hold of Wolf and Jake. And she's like, me neither. And he's like, we're on our way. But he's like half an hour away. So she's like, I'm not going to wait. So she kind of walks through the woods to find this cabin. And she sees Jake in the window and she's like, oh, I overreacted. Okay. And as soon as she turns around, she hears this earth-shattering scream. Someone is being murdered and she freaks out. So what we know that she doesn't know is that Jake has double-crossed Wolf. So Wolf is there at the cabin with Jake. They're waiting on Jake's supplier. He turns around to text Brindley and Jake hits him over the head with a pipe and then like drags him into this cabin and they start to torture him and Marco, the president of the other club. So they're like having a
real bad guy.
Yeah.
For Hounds of Hell. And Jake is butthurt that his dad gave the presidentship to Gabe and not to Jake. And he's a cokehead and he thinks that they should be making way more money selling heroin and that they're losing out on money by doing these clinics. Gabe is basically like, you're an idiot. Jake knows that Gabe has money. And so he's basically like, give me the account numbers for your money. And Gabe won't do it.
The minute he does, he's dead.
So, and then they start to threaten Brindley.
And he's worked hard for that $1.3 million that he's saved up over time.
And Marco's getting pissed because he's like, you said that we could just threaten her and he would give in and he's not and we're wasting time. And Jake is like, he is, I think, feeling a little, he just wants Gabe to give him the thing so he can put a bullet in his head. He doesn't have to be there for all the torture. Marco gets like a barbed wire and runs it down his chest. And that was the screaming that she hears.
But they're cousins. Like he's sitting there listening to
so sad.
Scraping
He's
down.
having a hard time with it.
He's struggling and he's high and he's trying to, he's twitching out and.
Oh, they're snorting coke the whole time.
The whole time.
So Brindley rushes to the cabin, looks through the window, sees it, freaking out. But she brought her gun with her. Smart girl. And she has obviously been training.
G.I. Jane coming in.
Gabe sees her through the window and tries to tell her no because he's worried that if she does anything wrong, like she's now dead and he's freaking out for her. But she ignores him and shoots Marco straight in the chest. Like he falls over and starts to die. And then Jake freaks out, goes to get his gun and she shoots his forearm. And he drops it. He goes back to pick it up, but he is still alive and standing and goes to hide behind Gabe. He does manage to get the gun away from her and then puts her in like a headlock. But Gabe has been training her how to get out of a headlock and she manages to get out of this headlock and push her thumb in his bullet hole and he screams and then she gets the gun and shoots him and like empties the clip into Jake. Jake is no more.
Little overkill.
Trauma response.
A lot of that. And so then Gabe says, go get my knife and cut me down. She cuts him down and then The cavalry shows up. Axe comes, Mason,
Sure,
they're all
of
there. And she's already saved the day. They tell them what happened, that Jake is a traitor. They bury him and Marco in the woods. And then they go up and meet with the brother, the Aiden Fox, the one that was stalking Brinley. And they create a deal. Stop raping women and children. Stop ransacking our clinics.
Seems fair.
Go about your business. You stay out of my business, I'll stay out of yours, basically, is their deal. We fast forward, and he gives Brinley a property patch, which is like a cut with her name on it, property of Wolf. And Shelley, Axe's mom, she's the dead mother. She comes over and says, I know you're going to marry that girl. And Wolf doesn't correct her. And then it kind of ends. But then there is 2 amazing epilogues. Fast forward.
You just need one.
17 years later.
It bothers me. I hate epilogues.
I love a good epilogue.
Just
I love
finish
it.
the fucking story.
There's Gabe's version and Brinley's version, but essentially we'll cut it down for you. 17 years later, they're married. They have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl, and it's their girl's middle school graduation. She's 14. She's the youngest. The oldest son is taking after his dad, working on bikes and doing like bodywork stuff. The middle brother he's a teenager, and they're having a big party with 100 of their friends, and they're still just as in love as ever. And at the end, everyone's kind of occupied. And Brinley says, do you think you can catch me, Prez? And he's like, run. And that ties into the little run scene from before. And, you know, they live happily ever after. It's very cute and cuddly, and I loved it.
He had the best quotes. I highlighted so many of the things he said to her. I loved the way he spoke to her. So I have a couple. He said, there isn't a thought in my head that doesn't start and end with you. So he said that to her after the week went by that they weren't speaking. And I was like, oh my gosh. She's the most beautiful thing I've ever laid eyes on, and she doesn't even realize it. There were probably 20 that I highlighted, the things he said to her. This guy's never respected a woman ever besides his mother, and now he just can't get enough of her. I loved
every part of it. Like the cringy stuff didn't even cringe me out because I just like
I didn't think any of it was cringy except the period sex. But
yeah, you have issues with that. That doesn't bother me.
Period sex doesn't bother me at all, but the knife in her vagina was tough.
Society, I'm really concerned. Every book we read has a weapon.
It is. And every time I read it, I think of you guys because I'm like, another weapon? Good Lord.
Another weapon.
This wasn't as bad as the loaded gun. That was really
One bad sneeze. There goes your ovaries.
This was dangerous too. He cut his hand. I thought this book was great. I am an MC romance fiend. I love them. I love good ones. Some of them are not good. This one was a great one. I would give this a 4.5 stars all day long.
Same. 4.5, almost 5 for me.
Good.
I mean,
really
it was
checked so many boxes.
So good. It was like Chasing the Wild for me, where you're reading it and you're like, I don't want it to end.
Where's the second one?
This. Watching them fall in love, he worshipped her. He was obsessed with her, and it was just
everything
so
needed to
good. 4.5,
almost 5.
If I could do a 4.75, I would.
Yeah, we cut it off at halves.
I know we're not allowed.
Can't do that. Can't do that. I know you're going to be upset. It could be because I listened to it. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh, no.
I know. But I think, and maybe if I read some of the words that he used versus heard him say them, they were not hot. A lot of them came out very abusive, not in a sexy, hot kind of way. You know me, I'm down with the MC.
He said he needed her more than he needed air. He said that to her.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Why I always read. I can put my own inflection on things. You're really beholden to like how they interpret it.
I implore you, Jen, to go back and listen to it and see if you feel different.
The day I met you was a rift in time. From that rift forward, there was only before I met you and all the days to follow.
I get it. It sounds so nice, but I'm telling you.
Don't listen to it. It'll ruin it.
Normally, I kind of like split it. And this one, I just got too busy and just listened all the way through. And it was just not a warm and fuzzy for me. And
you should put a disclaimer
sorry.
on this one. No listening.
I'm not gonna.
This is like Lights Out, right? Where I read and y'all listened and y'all loved it and I didn't.
It's way better listening to Lights Out.
All right. Spice factor for me was like a 5. I loved every bit of every sex scene in this book.
4.5 just because I didn't like the period sex.
It's so weird
honestly,
about that.
All the scenes were hot and there was a lot of scenes.
But you got a lot of plot too.
But you also got an amazing the story. I thought the story was fun, and I love the adventure of it all. It all tied together really well, and I thought her writing was beautiful. You could see his cabin. You could see the motorcycle rally. It was all so well described. I might bump it up to a 5. I really like this book.
Clearly.
Yes. Maybe as much as Chasing the Wild.
I read it a long time ago.
Yeah, because it's been on our
TBR. So I read it and then I reread it because I had to narrate it. And I liked it just as much the second time.
Well, I gave it a 4. I did think the sex scenes were hot, minus the weird obsession with blood and weaponry. The period sex doesn't bother me. It's fact of life. It happens.
Yeah, but when you smear it all over your motorcycle.
Everybody has their kink.
Okay.
Everybody, I mean,
sure.
Or you just get busy. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I would definitely say a 4. Some of it was a little brutal for me.
All right. Well, this was a fun one. And I love the debate about read or listen. And I feel like we have that almost every time. But this one definitely seems like it made a huge difference. Look us up on boozybookgasms.com. Shoot us a comment. There's a comment card there. Also, you can see our season 3 books for the rest of the season and our published dates. We hope you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are now on YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Follow all the things, listen to all the places, and tell us what you think.
Before we go, if any listener figures out what the hell the E is for, please write in and tell us, because we have not been able to figure out why
there's a dot.
E.
In the book, it wasn't wolf with a dot.
Never explained. I want to know.
Paisley.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope someone comes through.
It's important to me.
All right, readers. Thank you so much.
Happy reading.
For tuning in.
Bye.
We hope today's episode was the climax of your day, leaving you breathless and wanting more. Until next time, remember to indulge in the pleasures of life and to keep the passion alive. You can find more tantalizing episodes at boozybookgasms.com. Enjoy the ride, and we'll see you soon.